Okay, so I wanted to have a little discussion about the next event that we're going to be having, um, because it turns out you cannot start early enough to organize Haxe conferences. Uh, Mostly because everybody's too busy doing fun stuff rather than organizing these kinds of events. And so yeah, well, all of this is a first. I was kind of very involved in organizing this conference, only because I showed some initiative at the wrong moment, and then somehow everybody wanted me to do this. Um, so yeah, like first of all, if anybody wants to get involved in organizing the next conference, you're all most welcome. Yeah. Um, or like if anybody wants to, yeah, I mean, there's so many people, right? But if there's like any way that you think you can help, and I mean, every part is really great. Just showing up at the conference, I mean, for many people, I mean, Hugh in particular, or the guys from Hong Kong who really just travel over a day to come here. Like if you look at, yeah, just the amount of time and money spent to just getting the audience here, it's amazing. Like that's it's a huge thing. And beyond that, we have all our sponsors. Well, some of them are not here right now, but and yeah, and Dockler in particular were quite amazing. Um, I still feel bad. uh, so yeah, that we kind of dragged them into this. And so yeah, if you want to get involved at any point in time, and if you want to talk, especially at the next conference, or like even if you don't want to talk, please do. It's like I know it's difficult and it's awkward and all that. People sometimes seem to think that I'm a good speaker, but I'm not. Like if I compare what's in my head and what is said, like there's no correlation. So, but I try. I rather give a bad talk than not talk at all. So yeah, if you have anything to share, please do, because this is a community based a lot on sharing, and I think it needs to be even more because there's just so much ground we cover, and it's so easy to duplicate the effort and stuff like that, and we want to avoid that in the future. So at the next conference, please, yeah, please all come and talk and do something. And yeah, I mean, generally, I'm quite interested to know how you liked it. Do you think the idea to have more workshops worked, or was it more of a who thinks it backfired? That it backfired? That it got kind of worse with the workshops than only having talks?
This is my first time, but actually I like workshops.
Okay,
I think it's useful.
so we should probably even do more.
I think the morning afternoon worked for me as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah, I had
Or maybe, yeah, like maybe you can actually give some feedback.
yeah. I might give some talk next year. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. And yeah, I talked to many people and I got really good feedback on the workshop things. So just I want to say that people seems to be really happy with it. So we should do that again next year. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, okay.
I definitely think also it's my first year, so I don't have anything to compare to. But I think it's important to have a good mix. I think the workshops that were great to get your hands on.
Yeah.
But also hearing about what people are doing and exciting new stuff and things we weren't thinking of ourselves. That's also really great. So keep the mixture, I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we will. Yes, please.
I think one of the things to bear in mind with the workshops that is maybe quite a nice thing is that you have a lot of projects that people can actually pull down and go through after
Hmm?
the fact. They don't necessarily have to have been here. And I think that that's something that comes up a lot is how does someone new learn and grow and
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think this is kind of great. I hope that like if we do this a bit more and more often, and maybe even in smaller distributed events, we can kind of accumulate over time more learning material, because it's what people always kind of complain about. So yeah, like if you just want to do 2 workshops somewhere in your hometown, and just put the stuff on GitHub, and we should maybe try to collect that a bit more in the maybe link it from the code book or something like that. But okay, yeah, Michael.
I think that most of us cyclists not doing a workshop every day, and I think that
Tenth time.
the more experienced guys from the community should put some guidelines
Mm.
from the people that do the workshop,
Mm.
so they have more easy to create one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like more of a matter like how do I teach something, right?
Yeah.
Like how do I structure something, like how maybe like that's at least an exercise component.
Okay.
Like just kind of like
Is there any expert on that in the room?
I'll just say that having done the workshop, I would do it differently next time. So
Oh yeah.
right?
Yes.
Just sort of some things I think it's the same point here, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of
Yeah.
more
I mean, one thing, the only thing that I kind of know is like when you do a workshop, it's always good to be at least 2 people who make the session, for various reasons. Like if you get stuck, then the other guy can distract the audience while you debug the thing. I mean, I made a nice workshop with Jason 2 years ago about macros, and it was best thing ever, I think, because
it was also very hands-on. Like it was very
yeah.
actually
And it worked like really cool because we approached the thing from different angles, and and sometimes something didn't work, but the other guy would just take over, and you had 5 minutes to just fix it. Because if everybody's looking at you and you get like fix this bug in 10 seconds, then you just usually just is like this catastrophe, and you only make it worse when you try. Yeah. So
Oh, sorry. One thing I learned from the workshop is that you shouldn't try to, when you're doing one, if you want to do one, you shouldn't try to show everything, or to have too much content that people can't really cope up with. It's better to show kind of the different things and kind of have a broad view and enough things for people they can see or try on the computer if they have the computer there, so that it's easy to get started, and they get enough knowledge and enough information to when they are back home they can research further and do the rest of the work. So the goal of the workshop is kind of trying to hook people, and saying, okay, is this cool, and I really want to try it when I get back home for real, because in 1 or 2 hours you cannot really have a full coding experience. Because so I think that's important to keep in mind when you do workshops. That's you don't have to show everything, all the API, all the things. You shouldn't, yeah. It's
maximum of 3 things basically that are, if you're really doing well, they should kind of build on each other, so that you have like an entry level thing and an intermediate level thing, and then also like one kind of like little tidbit for people who are more advanced, or something like an outlook kind of thing. And then it's always good to have a practical example. In that, by practical I mean that people actually, like you did this really well, that people actually can physically do something that like makes something, right?
Yeah, I just want to add, I really liked how you did it with what do we want to do, asking the audience, what do you want from this workshop? And then you have your list and can use that list. And I think that really helps with the workshop. It just kind of drives itself at that point.
that's right.
Yeah, I personally like the workshops, even though that I felt a bit kind of behind in the beginning, because I had to kind of install all kinds of dependencies and so on. So
Yeah, that's also good
no,
too.
but that no, it's well, and then this Haxe Lib and this GitHub needs to be checked out and so on. This needs to be placed here, so it could maybe be an idea for if, for example, looking at the schedule where there's a workshop today with a quick link to just a short readme of pre-install this in advance.
Yes.
Yeah.
If
Or maybe
if
the
needed.
workshop should just come with an install script.
Yeah. Of course.
Install workshop. Actually, install workshop.
I feel like maybe we should collect ideas for workshop before, like, I mean, some people come and organize their workshop about the technology they use, like Tinka or Hips. But for example, I a workshop on like different things, but I'm not sure what's interesting for people. And if we could like collect these proposals for workshop, maybe I don't know, extern writing or macro
You have
or
a
whatever.
survey of sorts,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
for what stories?
Just survey the attendees basically before.
This is, although I can say from experience, this is, well, from one data point, that this is kind of tricky. Like there was a proposal to make a workshop on debugging. Like, can somebody please do this? And I asked like a lot of people on the team and others who seem to have their fingers in the C++ debugger and everything. Like, would you be able to talk about that? And they say, well, I actually just use printf debugging all the time, and it's no, you not, but
But I do.
you debug. I asked, okay. Oh, you do use printf debugging, yeah. Everybody, and it's the same for me. So sometimes it's a bit tricky. So maybe, yeah. To add on that, like if you, I mean, generally, if you want people to talk here, you have to be persistent, and I invite you to do so. There's a couple of speakers who shall not be named, who I had to drag on stage by their ankles, basically. It's a bit of an overstatement, but like if there's something that you wanna hear, it's important because mostly if they have something amazing that you would like them to talk about, then it's usually the problem is that they are too busy or stuff like that, or maybe they are too shy also, which explains why they do amazing things instead of being speakers. So yeah.
Maybe back to the original topic. Anything you wanna give some feedback for the organization of this year that we can kind of improve on next year?
I know it's difficult, but this year we didn't have any tables for the workshop. I remember your Jason and your workshop, and that year there was huge workshop too, and it was really great. Tables, I remember.
Yeah.
Really doing the things which I try, but putting your laptop on your
Yeah.
on your lap isn't really.
Okay, tables.
It's
Yeah.
not easy to do. For instance, if here there's no table, you can't magically make
Yeah.
your laptop, but
We will- we
something
will-
to look out for.
Yeah, we will try to do that definitely. This year we were kind of overwhelmed by the number of people who registered without us ever making any kind of advertisement. Like we were just, it was really clear that the place that we booked would not fit nearly enough people, but we did not think that this would work so well. So yeah, but next year, I mean, speaking about next year, I don't know, this is just an information for some of you to consider. So it happens, just this week we realized that actually Dockler happens to have this nice theater in Budapest that fits 150 people, has a kitchen, can provide catering, streaming, has an audio system, presentation system, all of that stuff.
You're gonna outbook that. Like you had 120 people this year. If you like just one, like if you couldn't communicate just like a tiny bit better, like it's like one more tweak, and
Yeah.
you're gonna overbook.
Like one more than zero, you mean? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think we can do that.
So, no, I'm just saying like to say that it fits 150 people. If you look at what you had here right
Yeah.
now, that is still small.
Yeah, that's bit of a problem. Yeah, exactly.
Some advertising, I posted it.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. It's not like we did nothing, but I mean, the plan was kind of to have this ongoing conversation that creates a lot of buzz, so that people buy tickets all the time. But basically, yeah, nothing of that kind happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we do more efficient communication and from over longer term, we should be able to reach around 200 people next year, and we should have a room for this size about. Maybe we don't reach it, but maybe we overreach it and we are fully booked again, and that would be a good thing.
Yeah.
But well, I think that's
But
kind
it's
of
the interesting thing where to do that then.
yeah. Well, the place is yet to be decided, but we should get started working. I think Dockler is interested in organizing it again, kind of. Or getting involved in the organization again. So X Foundation is too. So I think it's we might consider other options as well. But if the current team is still, they've been doing first time in Amsterdam, it's a different team than previously in Paris, and if they are interested in doing this one more time again and learning from what was not perfect this time, and it's a good thing to have one run, maybe in another city, and but still one run on this with the same team. And one of the things we are looking to for ways to have a conference, the same kind of formats in the US. So we are looking for local partners that will be interested in helping us setting that, maybe with different for like not maybe not as big, but maybe it might be bigger because we didn't have conference in the US and we have a lot of people in the US using Haxe. So if there's one, they might all show up. So well, it's some of you are based in the US and interesting help up working on that. Having maybe 2 conferences per year, like something like fall in the Europe and spring in the US. Well, this spring is maybe short for that, but well, will be a good thing I think for Haxe to kind of cover all the continents. Yeah, some people are in the US and they come sometimes for Haxe conference. I was thinking you will talk about Joshua Granick several times. Yeah, he based in the US and OpenFL and team, and sometimes they come up. It's very long trips, so sometimes they don't. So it's nice to, if you want to see everyone, to have these 2 things. Yeah, so that's idea, food for thought. Yeah.
I think it's like generally, yes, communication could have been better. I mean, thank God it wasn't, because you would have totally out the space, right? You would have actually.
Oh, we would have had to close sales in June.
Yeah,
probably.
like you would have kind of like just tell people no. And I think that like social media could be used
Used at all? Yeah, full
because it
stop.
wasn't no, because it wasn't like, I mean, it wasn't even you like during the conference. And but that's kind of minor details. I was talking to Melanie as well, and I was like, if you want to promote an event, like first you need to kind of make sure you have an event
Yeah.
that works, right? So I think in that regard you focused on what was necessary, and that was good. I think that you can think about like kind of being a little bit more organized about what we do in the evening, right? I mean, it worked out really well. It worked out really well, but
Yeah, we're an open source community, kind of.
yeah. And the other thing, I think which was really made a huge difference this year is that there is actually time to socialize. Like, I mean, there are workshops, right? You wouldn't like necessarily go to everyone, but we also had like really good breaks. The lunch, I think, in-house made a huge difference also for people kind of be able to connect
having
with
lunch
each
at the
other.
venue was
Yeah, connect with
Yeah.
each other and talk.
Yeah.
And like in general, like also like I think the location, I mean, we did overbook it, but in the end, like there is like enough space also for people to go and sit for a while and talk like in peace and kind of connect. So from my observation this year, I saw a lot more people talking to each other by themselves without, having to kind of mediate that or kind of be worried, because like before it was always like a little bit rushed. We were always like very busy with the talks, and then we were always in very loud spaces after. So this is I think worked really well.
Yeah, having not only the conference room but also side space where people can socialize and not outside under the rain is a good thing. Yeah. Definitely helps this year.
And also, like, I mean, pass my compliments on to the venue. Like, they did an amazing job, I think.
Yeah.
They actually did really good.
So
You'd have to thank Danny. It was his recommendation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
thanks Danny.
Right.
How many of you are happy with the conference so far? Okay, that's great. That was an easy call.
How many are unhappy?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I want to give a good feedback about ordering of some of the lectures, which started with a short teasing lecture about the technology, and then in the afternoon, or even a day after, there was the long lecture.
Yeah.
And this way, you get to choose if you want to go or don't want to go.
Yeah.
You get curious.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Not sure
So.
if that was intentional, but it worked out really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. There's a reason why the schedule came online so late.
Okay.
There was a lot
You
of
optimized it.
Tetris, yeah, and there was, but I need to talk. I cannot talk on a Wednesday, and the other guy cannot talk on a Friday for some reason. Plus, with it should make sense. So that was kind of a, yeah. I should have tried some machine learning or something to solve that for me, but yeah, would have been interesting. So, sorry, no, nobody said anything. So yeah, I mean, I guess, or maybe you can tell me is like how do we decide on when next year there will be a conference? Is it too early? Is it too late? What will we be doing? I mean, at some sense, because I mean the one thing that I kind of want to avoid is that we have this great conference and then we all go home and then nothing happens and then we start panicking like.
Yeah, but like,
Se-
what do
se-
you need?
Oh, no, no,
Like, you need to be specific about what you need right now for people to do, commit to, or agree to,
Like-
or
Yeah.
sign.
Well,
I mean,
usually,
what I would prefer is just somebody say, okay, we'll be doing the conference. It will be then, and you know, and I can just lean back and.
well,
But you need to manipulate people better into doing
well,
what you want.
I think
I like to manipulate code, not people.
I will get in touch with the team at Dockler that doing that, and we'll try. I think the best scenario would be like many serious conference that open year over year. Basically, a few weeks after it's done, you already know the date and the place for the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
So if we can figure it out this upcoming weeks and maybe months, because we are not like Gamescom or something, but well, we try to put it out and put the word out as soon as possible with a single page, and at least you know the dates, you know the place. We don't know yet the content, but we'll start working on it, and that's will be something nice. Yeah. Yep.
Feedback on the date. I don't know about other European countries, but in France, school starts in September. So maybe students is not the base, but also for people working in schools. I know it was okay for me this year, but the first 3 weeks of September are really heavy work. A lot to figure out because schools also is very late, and yeah, it's a really busy period for this branch of.
Yeah. Maybe we can offset a bit by the end of September. Maybe.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it's French specific, but
I
Any-
think it is like, for example, in Germany, and I believe in the States, it's kind of moved forward. So in September is basically where you have nothing on your hands. But
Depends on the state, though. That's
even
the
that,
other
yes,
issue.
it depends on this.
Any.
Because we're a federation and.
July and August should be fairly safe.
No, no in
Not
summer.
in the summer.
Not in the summer. Yeah.
Because
It's professional conference, so you can get people in the summer. So
Before it was earlier.
yeah,
It's in May, yeah.
it was in May before, and maybe June, and sometimes it was hard because it was almost end of June and people were not available. So
People who prefers September.
okay, let's raise our hand. Okay, let's do a binary search. Who prefers springs over fall, for instance, after summer or before summer? After summer, or if you don't care. Okay, okay, you don't care. Raise your hand. Okay, so I get to decide. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 And you can get the rain. Yeah.
I like the rain. Stop dissing the rain.
Yeah. So yeah. For next year, I think we should aim for something like September still. I think having every year. Yeah.
just to say that, if we want to go for May, then we're already cutting it awfully close, you know, because.
It would be like 2019 then.
Or that, yeah. But I don't want to be doing that. Or I don't know,
I don't
like.
want to be doing any of this.
No, but I mean, if nobody else does it, then I will do it. I shouldn't have said that. And but I don't want to wait for a year and a half.
It's been recorded.
It's been recorded. Oh God.
Just told the internet.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it might be interesting to stay in September, and maybe, yeah, but try more events also. I think because if there's one thing that we've seen at this conference is that there's an amazing amount of stuff to talk about, and we haven't even scratched the surface, I think. So we should do more. And like if you, I don't know, you have subjects to talk about, but you don't have the rooms, or maybe you have the rooms, but you don't know what to talk about, or anything. Like try to connect, I don't know, with Fina, or just write me an email, or anyone. No, no. Uh, and so that we might do more stuff. Like I think there's these London meetups. They're really quite cool, you know, to have intermittent things. But if we could do more of that, and maybe geographically distributed, you know, so that sometimes I hear there's a couple of guys in Minsk. We could also try to make an online summit, but here are the things that I think are problematic with that. One, getting streaming right is not easy. If anything, it has been confirmed this conference. Two, you don't meet, you know. So it's kind of no. But I think it will barely work if it will work at all. And the third thing is like if you book a place and people book flights and all this kind of stuff, there's like a commitment, and there's no way of going out. Like you can schedule something that's gonna be online, and if it's not, then nobody really cares, you know. And yes, but we generally don't pay speakers yet, you know.
Yeah, but I don't think that speakers will
Yeah, but you can just cancel it a week before, and you will not do that with a conference. I mean, we can try, but I have bad feelings. I mean, there's been a couple of people who had been wanting to, for example, speak every Friday to keep us updated.
I did that for a while.
And you did that for a while, and it's great. But it's so easy to just stop, you know, because it's. And I understand why. I mean, you just had stuff on your hands, and it has priority. But like when you book something and you make it kind of bigger, then it's you cut off the excuses for yourself. You know, I mean, you just. And it.
an awful lot right now.
Well, it's just that I see that many hackers do behave the same way as I do. I mean, even you never sent me a bio for this conference, you know. So.
No name dropping, please. No name dropping. We're stopping there. Okay. Any other comments for the conference?
You need like 2 people.
And there are some speakers who simply can't come and would like to have a lot to share.
Yeah. Well, that's something to consider.
Anybody want to be in charge of that?
Okay, we got the answer. So, any other things regarding the actual conference?
Please don't think that I'm too greedy or something, but what about all this merge stuff, you know? I don't think it is completely useless, because I expected to see a notebook and a pen. So to write something, you know, it helps.
Do you want stickers and notebooks and things and pens?
Well, I think it won't be useless.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you.
Yes.
And
So-
t-shirts.
Yeah.
For example, I call
Yeah.
guys, and everybody asks you, what does it mean? And then you tell them, and you spread the word. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you consider t-shirts? Yes.
Sorry?
You didn't consider t-shirts this year?
No, it was
we-
just only so much fit in our budget, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like we spent a week of hell just to get the streaming done
I
ourselves.
know it's not easy. I myself, I did prepare an event, not IT related at all, but still, and I used to provide merch and stuff, and I know it's not easy, but it's useful.
Yeah. Okay, we'll.
I like those.
It's one of
Okay. The question.
Just a little idea about maybe we could just use sort of election or votes about the talks that will be in the next conference. This is can be in two ways. One way that you elect slash votes for specific talk, like talk about car, talk about whatever, or it can be about topic, talk about web, talk about gaming, you know, and then the organizer put in the slot uh, the actual talk.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I've been doing that not this year, but previous years, like to select the talks. It's not easy because yeah, you got really different speakers, and actually sometimes you actually it's hard to find speakers sometimes because like Josephine says, it's really that some people they don't want to speak out, and but they are really interesting things to say, by the way. But so you have to sometimes some guys they do really great things, so you have to kind of mail them and several times and say, okay, you haven't yet submitted a talk and we want you to speak. So it's kind of, it's not like we have 100 talks and we get to choose what. So it's more like, we get a lot of proposals.
Not yet.
Yeah, we get a lot of proposals, but
I just tell it because Juran said that there is a lot of topic to talking about, so
yeah,
Not a lot of people to talk about these topics.
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I
So
mean, potentially yes, but effectively no.
yeah, it's hard to find the kind of topic and speaker match somehow. So it's better to start from the speaker and people there's something they want to talk about, and then that's a whole like kind of program making we making. So
About scheduling the talks, if you have some talks which are or workshops which are parallel, maybe try to separate them by topic. I mean, if don't put two lectures of web
Side by
at the
side,
same
yeah.
time, one lecture of web and one lecture
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, and we don't do that. I don't think we did.
Well, there was a bit of a thing at some point. I roughly tried to divide the afternoons in web and gaming because I think it's like sort of the two dominant areas, sort of. And I tried to, I asked Kawe, but he was not coming anyway. I did not ask Nicolas because he would be too busy. I knew that Joshua would not be coming, and I asked Lars Doucet, or however you pronounce that, if he would like to kind of, take control of dragging his game people here by the ankles, but he was also too busy. So we came up a bit stronger on web people, which was actually quite nice for me because it's a subject that I care about. But I think, definitely we'll try to balance that a bit better. It's just, I had a bit too much on my hands, I think. So.
And another thing, maybe if you can find some topics to make more panels for talking, like the ones we did on the IDE today.
Mm.
So spread it across the days. I think it will be better.
Yeah, it kind of came out better. Oh, I mean, there were many reasons. For one, I knew that most of the Dockler guys would have to leave earlier today. I mean, not as early as they had to. So that was one of the reasons it was arranged this day. And yeah, for a couple of reasons it was more practical. But yes, ideally we will be able to actually, split it.
Didn't know if that would be working out very well. Like, I don't know, during the past conferences.
Yeah, but I think during the past conference they did not have any subject ever. It was just we're going to sit here and make an open discussion. I mean, we have one slot for this today where we can, just talk about something. But generally, I think it's important to have like a subject that you really kind of care about. There's like the one thing I scheduled next, funding, because I think that's something we should discuss.
Like maybe get like specific speakers for that, like before, so that they can actually like kind of prepare as well.
Yeah, we
Are you
try to
saying
do
we're
that.
unprepared?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
I'm not saying you didn't do a great job. I'm just saying that like if you weren't as amazing as you are, and you want like a normal person speaking on panel, you should probably give them a little bit of notice.
Yeah. So yeah, you can. Yeah, we can try that. I don't think they will prepare. I mean, I tried to get
I wouldn't.
a couple of people to prepare for the sorry for the IDE thing, but it's not really evident, or maybe we're the wrong. Maybe you can prepare us.
Maybe you can mentally prepare. I
Yeah.
don't know. Don't underestimate.
That's the nice thing about panelists. You don't have to prepare.
Yeah.
That's the whole point in general. When you
Conference only panels.
yeah.
What about the length of the talk? So obviously you drag someone up after just to give it like a 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Other people have been keen to at least just say 10 minutes worth, or is everyone happy with the reasonably prepared? Like, is anyone here felt they could have spoken for maybe 10 minutes if they wanted to? I've got some other topics I could have spoken for 10 minutes if we would had a, like a sort of a
Like
shorter
like the
session.
lightning talk, like the
Yeah.
lightning talks, like
Yeah.
quick sessions, like.
Also, you think there should be more opportunity for
I
that?
just wonder what
basically?
people felt of that. I'm saying personally, I could have done a little, just a 5 minute Enderman talk, but you know.
Okay.
I don't really like these because I like kind of have to mentally shift into paying attention to a new topic. And if I know it's only for 10 minutes, it's kind of
It's a
hard
short
to
one, you don't
even.
even have to pay
Well,
attention.
I think actually, if I can say something about that, I think if you can actually make a nice 5 minute pitch about whatever you're doing, enemy or whatever,
Yeah.
that's really great. Not necessarily for the attendees of the conference, because for them it's not the level of detail that they want to see things at, but it's great material that we can later use to sell hacks outside the conference.
It would be perfect if there was a workshop after that. Like you could, as he said, you could do your advertising quickly and then say, okay.
Yeah,
the
there was
afternoon I'm
something
gonna
that we
do-
did for Tamina and for the.
Something specific
Sorry?
as well. I mean, if you're looking for contributions or you're looking for like to connect with some certain people who work.
Or for
I
that.
think there should be like, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes in the morning or something, or somewhere like after lunch. Maybe it's a nice pickup for after lunch. Or
Okay.
something, right? Like just like maybe keep that even a little bit open, where basically if people do get brave during the conference,
Like
then
an
there's
yeah,
like a slot
just
or
an
something.
open mic slot basically.
Open mic slot,
Or
basically.
close the session. I don't know if anyone would be into that, but maybe there'd 3 demo computers set up at lunchtime that
Yeah. Okay.
someone could do something at one of the 3
Yeah. Right.
on a roster or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, and I think for newcomers to the community, it's nice to get a small introduction to the sales pitch to some of the
Hmm.
technologies out there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
5 minute.
Yeah. So yeah, we should probably do that more often. But anyway, okay. I guess we're kind of done. We'll try to keep an.
Thing. So I wouldn't send you any bug reports, but maybe a feature request for this whole thing. I've heard some voices in the community about the pricing of accommodation, which was a bit of an issue this year. It's because it's Amsterdam, I guess. But maybe we can look into organizing that a bit. Maybe approach some hotel and say like we could bring you 100 people, and maybe something could be done in that area. I'm a bit naive, I'm sure, but maybe we could consider looking into that, because I know some people didn't come because it's too expensive, the accommodation thing.
Yeah, that's definitely something we're considering, which is one of the reasons why we were thinking about Budapest, because it kind of solves that totally. It's also, I kind of apologize. The reason it's especially expensive this year is we didn't do our research. I mean, I didn't do my research. There's an international broadcasting conference going on right now. So, so yeah, we should have known that. Or you should have booked earlier. No, but we should really have known that, or have. Yeah, we will do better next time. Yeah. Okay.
Like on what Simon said, so obviously, even if we say we'll bring 100 guests, the hotel slash conference center will charge us, of course, to rent their facilities. So I wonder what kind, roughly, of budget you'd have this year. So because I have no idea how much a conference center costs, but if we know how much we have, we can
Yeah, well, I haven't get back the budget from Melanie Dockler. She will send me back, and with the agreement, I will publish it for everyone to see. So, well, when I get it, so I don't have all the details right now. So
it can be like amazingly expensive, depending on the city. Like, I mean, there was a place that was slightly bigger than this one, further in the center. I mean, this has a very nice location. I don't know. I'm kind of amazed. And the other thing just cost 10 times as much, and I was shocked. And then I realized, like, this is the price that you normally pay. It's just that this is some kind of spiritual meeting place for people. Like, it's kind of open source for the spirit, if you will. And that's why we got away so cheaply. But usually it can be quite a problem. Yeah.
yeah, the 2 year before, the 2 past years, it was at Mozilla office in Paris, and it was provided for free. So that really definitely helped. But yeah, we can't get free venue every time. So that's also like price difference for entering the conference and things like that. So yeah. And I mean, it has its limits. It's not. They have some specific room, and if you're going to go bigger, they can provide. So at some point,
like you can't sell tickets.
And yeah, and you can't. Yeah.
I mean, it's not about getting the budget through the tickets, but it's about knowing who will attend.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that, like, if somebody buys a ticket for more than €5, you're kind of more certain that they are going to show up, and you can say, okay, we're full, or this kind of stuff. It's more like a sanity check, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you just transition to the next panel now, because we're already on the financial thing.
Okay. Oh, you guys want to take a short break?
Yeah. Maybe a break.
Not too much.
Yeah. Maybe a break. Yeah.